Hey, what's going on, guys? Zeb's here, also known as Hayden, bringing you another tutorial. And this tutorial will be the second part of the Vine style. So, you guys really enjoyed the first part, which is the render, making the render itself. And this part will be the, making it into a nice looking banner. So to start off, I'm just going to bring it into a YouTube 1 template. You can make your own, download it, whatever. But what you want to do is you want to resize it to fit the banner because it's going to be too big automatically, well, depending on your Lightroom. So to do this, you just, you have your thing here, bring it under the thing, and then do Control-T, and that will bring up the sizing thing. Now hold Shift and get a corner and just drag it inward to bring it down so it keeps its aspect ratio too. And to keep in mind when you're doing this, something like this will be too small. That means it's just too small. You want to have some of it cut off, so something like this would be a good size, where the bottom's cut off, like so it's not too small. Something, even this would work. But something like, say this, it's too big for well, it's too big for this style. Not necessarily like all banners or all styles, but this one's too big for this style. So you want to find a good little balance. I'm just going to do right here. And then what we're going to do is next is duplicate it by doing Control-J or Command-J, I think, on a Mac. And then what we're going to do is going to go Filter Gallery, Glowing Edges, and just copy these settings down. So 2, 6, 5, under the Stylized, then Glowing Edges, then this. And then what that's going to do is make this weird looking thing. And then just go either Overlay, and then you want to bring down the opacity about to 23%. And then this next part is where you add your color correction. Now, I'm going to use the color correction I made for it, but any green color correction would pretty much work. Just make sure it's not too dark, but it's not too bright. Something like this would be good. A good little balance. And yeah, so if you copied what I did, exactly. Well, we did a sword, so I'm just going to make the concrete come out or stand out a little bit more so it's more eye appealing when someone looks at it. So it doesn't it's not too blended into the banner, to its surroundings. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll understand what I'm saying when I'm done. So I'm just going to kind of do that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of rushing it due to the fact of the tutorial. I don't want to take 10 minutes doing this, kind of bore you guys. So I'm just gonna boom, boom, boom. And as you can see, I'm just kind of going around following the grass or the vines and such. I'm not necessarily going in it. I kind of am, kind of not, but that's because I'm rushing it. Oops. And then just kind of so this will be one part, and just go make selection, go into this square tool right here, the selection tool, live selection tool, go fill and make it white, just pure white. And as you can see, it will make the white shape that we pen tooled out. And we're just gonna do this for all the other concrete things. Obviously, when you're doing this, you're going to take your time. Well, I hope you will. So they'll look a lot better. I'm just doing this for the sake of the tutorial. So boom, 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 and then boom. Kind of like so. And this kind of also depends on the color correction you're using. In a second, when we're going to mess with the opacity, that will also depend on the color correction you're doing, because a lot of color corrections are different than others. So sometimes you might want to have a brighter one, but sometimes you also want to have a darker logo, depending on the color correction. And if you don't have a green color correction, if you want to know how to make one, I made a tutorial on it. You just got to check through the videos. It's a very good tutorial on how to make color corrections. So what we're going to do now that we have our thing filled is we're just going to go overlay and whoops. right off the bat, you're gonna notice that it's standing out a lot more, and it looks a lot better. But we don't want it that high. We're gonna make it to like something maybe like 70%. So it'll stand out a little bit more than usual. So now that we have that done, what we're going to do is, we're gonna add our particles. Now, I'm gonna use Triumph's Pack 800 subscriber pack because it's a really good pack. So I'm not claiming it as my own. I'm just using it because he has really good particles. If you want to go and download his pack, just go to his channel, youtube.com/yo-triumph, or just put Saul Triumph and he'll pop up. And it's 800 subscriber pack. So there you go. So the materials I'm going to be using is I'm going to variety. Some are going to be blurred and darker, and then some are going to stand out a little bit more, such as these ones. But I'm going to show you guys how to blend them all together to make a overall good looking backing. So I'm just going to find some good ones. Let's see here. This pack has a lot of particles for different styles you can do, so that's one of the good reasons for this pack. There's a lot of things for it. So I'm just going to use 3 different particles. And then what we're going to do is just go into our thing, and here's our particles. We're just going to drag it all behind the render. Personally, I like to have all my particles behind the render, not in front of it. It's kind of distracting a little bit, but I mean, that's kind of personal opinion. So we're going to start with this blurred out looking one. And conveniently, it fits the banner, so you just kind of want to make it fit. And we're just going to lower the opacity just a little bit, not too much, where it's still visible. Now, one problem is YouTube, the way it is, they're going to downgrade the quality, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see these particles right now, but if you're going to use particles, set it to about 34%, depending on your color correction again, but I'll zoom in so you can kind of see them. I don't know if you can. And then the next one is these ones. And these ones I like to kind of have like outside, or not outside, but like kind of close to the render, like so. And then I'm just going to minimize these ones a lot more, so something like 30%. And then same with these. I'm just going to have these lower it down a bit. Actually, I'm going to give it some more particles. In a second, I'm just going to put these here. Have it right. I don't think I'm going to use these particles. I'm not a fan of them. I'm just going to get a different one. There is those. Here they are. Very good set. I like to use these particles a lot in a lot of my banners. So here's that. I'm just going to resize it. Whoops. Hold on. Alright, we're back. That was weird. So I'm just gonna resize it down because it's a little big, as you can tell. So just set it there, zoom in, duplicate it, and then just bring it over here. And then we're just gonna lower the opacity a little bit so it's barely noticeable, but it's still noticeable. So something like that. And next, what we're going to do is our lighting. Now I'm gonna use my personal pack, but if you want lighting, I have my everything pack, which has lights like these, a lot of lights like these. So yeah. And also, if you don't have any pack that has lights like this, one thing you can do is, I'll show you in a second. Let me just place this correct here, but just kind of place it over the render, kind of where the logo is. This kind of goes for a lot of styles, but get something like this kind of green, so plus 32. So let me show you a way you can do lights. So create a new layer, get your brush, and then get something like, I don't just do green, something like this. And what you can do is make it really big, like something like this. And that's basically all you have to do. Obviously, this isn't a very good green, but you could do like, oh, you can make it soft light. Kinda. Well, just mess around with things. There's linear dodge, normal. It all kind of does little things, but yeah, there's that. So, I'll just delete this. Oops. Yeah. So now that we have that, what we're going to do next is add smoke. So to do this, again, kind of depends on what pack you have. Triumph has a lot of good smoke packs that I might grab from him. So just kind of bring it behind the render, but still in front of the particles, and just kind of bring it to the sides to add a little bit more detail into the backing. So just do that, and then lower the opacity a little bit so it's still noticeable, but yeah, but not too much. So I'm just going to go into the the smoke part, and as you can see, there's a lot of good smoke things you can use. I'm going to use this one. It's a very good one, and I found this one recently. And there's this one. Might use that one. A lot of variety. So yeah, anyway. Same thing, just drag it behind, and now depending how the smoke is placed kind of determines how you're gonna place it, obviously. So just kind of lower the opacity, duplicate it right here, something along the lines of that, and then get this one, just kind of that, lower the opacity a bunch, duplicate it, horizontal for the other side. Boom, got ourselves some smoke. And the next thing is what we're gonna do is we are going to go above the color correction, create a new layer, get our brush ready. I'm gonna make it smaller, something like, this will do. So we're just gonna get a dark green, something like this, and we're just gonna kind of draw it along here to add different shades of green into it, spice it up a bit. So now that we've done that, very simple, but the little things can really make the banner. So the next thing is what we're going to do is we're going to add our vines around the banner. So just go to your render, right click a little vine and just copy it, and then just kind of rotate it around, make it go into the banner. Just things like this. I actually might make the smoke in front of these little vines because it doesn't really look that good in front of them, so I'm just gonna kind of bring it in the back probably. And boom. Very simple. Very simple thing, but looks really cool. So just something, have some peeking out maybe. Alrighty, so I have one more here and then we should be good. Alrighty, so I'm just going to make the smoke in front of the vines. There we go. And now what we're going to do is add our stalks. So I'm just gonna get some good looking stalks, so something like this, very glowy and such. And we're just going to we're gonna change the hue and saturation to something green, obviously. I like that. And we're just going to drag it behind the render and just kind of drag it towards the edges a little bit. You don't want to have too much showing. Duplicate it and just kind of randomize it a little bit. And one more right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to drag it behind the vines to kind of give it some depth, or not depth, some more detail. Let's kind of do that, and then erase some of it, duplicate it, add it somewhere else. Just kind of do what you gotta do. Duplicate it. Just kind of go through each little render, or not render, vine, and just kind of have it behind it. Kind of have part of it showing. You don't want to have too much, because then it kind of looks weird. So I'm just gonna erase some of it, duplicate it, and do the same here. Erase some of it, and that should do. Oh, one more. Top right corner, just kind of, I like that. So now that we have that, we're just gonna kind of lower the opacity just a little bit, not too much. Something like that, 72. And for the most part, we're done with stocks now. So what we're going to do is the effects. So just kind of duplicate everything and then merge them. And then duplicate it, go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then kind of make it 2. And we're just going to erase part of the SOAR render, so it kind of focuses a little bit more on that. Looks nicer. And then what we're going to do is just merge these together, duplicate it, filter, video, or other, high pass, 100 or 10.0, and then go overlay, and that will make the render look a lot sharper. And well, that's exactly what it does, and it looks really cool. So merge those, duplicate it, go into here, and then check the green one, because we're going to do the RGB effect. Just kind of make it very subtle. You don't have too much. And so to go into here, you could either double click this or go into the blending options, and then advanced blending, and then channels, uncheck the G for the green, and then if you uncheck the blue, it'll give a lighter blue, so and so, yellow. Okay, but anyway, yeah, you know how to do that. So that'll make a very subtle looking look to it, very nice looking. I like it. And the reason with the Gaussian blur, as if you can tell, I erased the blur, so now with the overpass, it's going to stand out a lot more, so it's more eye appealing than everything else, but it's not too eye appealing where it distracts you from all the other stuff around it. And then one other thing I'm going to do is add a photo filter, maybe just kind of a blue one, give it a nice touch. So yeah, I like this. So once you've done that, obviously I'm going to show you a little cool thing you can do to kind of mark your banner to claim it as your own, so it's not too appealing. So a little thing I like to do is put Zebs, or whatever your name is. Use whatever font, preferably a clean one so it's readable. I'm going to use Bank Gothic. I'm going to make it pure white. Once you've done that, click the check, and then what we're going to do is zoom in, make a kind of an upside down L, so something like this. Doesn't have to be perfect since it'll be small, so just kind of get something like of this, like a live selection. Get this, and then go fill, color, pure white, okay, or check okay, and then duplicate it, go edit, transform, horizontal, do it again, transform, flip vertical this time, and then just drag this to the bottom corner, the bottom right corner, kind of get it lined up. I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. It looks a little big compared to the font, so just make it a little bit smaller. And the lines up this. So, yeah, I like that. Just going to quickly do this, edit, or transform, horizontal, transform, vertical, and then boom. That'll give it a little cool effect to it. Whoops. And now we could just merge those together, I guess, if we wanted. Oops. So I'm just gonna drag it to the bottom right corner. Some people like to put like, hold on, let me just quickly resize this so I can show you. Oops, kind of messed that up. Just kind of, boom. And then lower the opacity a bunch. It's kind of noticeable, something like that. 14. But let me show you something that people like to do. They like to do like, they like to do this like right in the middle, and they don't even lower the opacity, which makes it too distracting from SOAR itself, and it just, oops, forgot a G. But it just does not look good doing this. If you're a beginner designer, please don't do this. Do something like this, or put something like this, and then make a line, small line, fill, make a new layer, fill, white, just pure white, make that under there, and then put something like SOAR Studios, the name of the banner. Just kind of make it a little bit smaller, about 3 maybe, half that, yeah. And then just kind of lower the opacity. I did a really bad job on that one because it's not centered or anything, but center around, make it look nice, and lower the opacity and like bring it in the corner or something so it's not overpowering, but if someone was to look at it, they're gonna see your name so they know you designed it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. This was a really highly requested style you guys wanted, so I decided, hey, why not? I'm gonna do it. If you're still watching this, I think what I'm going to do is at the end of every tutorial, I'm going to say something to put in the comment section to prove that you guys watched all the way. So for this tutorial, put who is your favorite designer in the comment section, in the community. So it could be, for example, SOAR Wiz, SOAR Crude, it could be Nick, Weston, Jaden, me, whoever your favorite designer is. Put that in the comment section down below if you've watched all that, so all the way to here. And also, you guys have been asking about the materials. The reason I don't give these materials out is because I make these styles so you don't copy them exactly. I give away these styles so you can learn from things for the long run. Like this tutorial, I taught you how to make a blender or blend a logo into something, how to make backings and color corrections, and how to make your representation of, you prove that you made the banner kind of look good but not too like eye appealing. But the reason, again, back to the story, the reason I don't give away materials is because the materials and color correction, all that I make, is because then you're just going to copy it exactly. Now, the reason I do give them out, is they're on my store as well. 1, it's a good way of getting money, and 2, if you're just kind of lazy, and, well, I mean, if you want to mess with things, you can also get them. Like, if you wanted to edit the color correction, you could. I have a lot of things here, same with, like, the materials. The materials I can understand, yeah. But, anyway, I'm Zebs, and I'm out. Peace.